And welcome back. So, for this Who Would Win, I just want to make sure I have the proper person right here. It comes to us from, Blue Mike asked the question, who would win in a fight, Beerus or Thanos? Now, I'm just taking care of something real quick. There we go. Beerus or Thanos? Now, we actually have a couple versions of Thanos we're going to use. There's four key versions of Thanos we're going to use. The movie version, which is actually the weakest version when you really break it down, because the comics and the movies are never the same. Your standard version of Thanos who's without any sort of enhancement, who is God knows how powerful. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and then old King Thanos, who is even stronger than an Infinity Gauntlet Thanos, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So, I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to start with first. Beerus is the god of destruction of Universe 7, the main universe that our heroes exist in Dragon Ball. Now, he was asleep for God knows how long, woke up, it's like, wait, Frieza's been defeated, and then went and fought Goku, and is basically not, he's kind of the main antagonist of the first arc in Super, but is also more or less a teacher and just a figurehead throughout the entire time. It's not actually known how old Beerus is, but I believe it's been stated somewhere that Whis believes he's starting to get a little too old to be a god of destruction. I mean, in terms of how he looks, he doesn't look like an old cat or anything like that. He just looks like the cat. Maybe by his people's standards, he's in his middle age or something like that. But being a god of destruction probably does allow you to have an extended lifespan, no doubt. But Beerus is, as the god of destruction of Universe 7, with the exception of Whis, he is the strongest individual in Universe 7. You can make the argument about Broly or whatnot, or if Goku or Vegeta has surpassed Beerus at this point. That's a different thing entirely. But Beerus is, for all intent and purposes, the strongest individual in the universe. To the point where when they first met, Goku, who at their initial meeting was capable of using Super Saiyan 3, which had enough power to shake the literal planet Earth itself and could have possibly destroyed it, according to Tien, who's capable of blowing holes in planets, who's capable of a large amount of feats, could not touch him, and got KO'd by him in basically two shots. He got flicked and then just nope. And Beerus wasn't even trying. Against all the other Z-Fighters, he can easily just lay waste to him. Even when Goku did attain the power of a god, the power between him and Goku was causing rips in the universe when it was just cascading outward, Beerus still ultimately won the fight without too much. He actually had to put effort in when he fought Goku, but without too much difficulty. Now you may be asking, how does that translate to how strong he actually is? Well, understand that, he's a skilled fighter. He's a skilled martial artist. I'd actually say Goku's still probably a naturally better fighter than he is. And is actually probably just a skilled overall more skilled martial artist than he is. Same with Vegeta. But because he boasts such superior power over them, he's just ultimately a more powerful individual. And therefore, he's the better fighter in the long term. It's power and skill versus skill without the power to match. But take that out of the equation. Beerus' power comes from his God knows how many years of experience, but B, first promise, his Hakai energy, his energy of destruction, divine energy that allows him to destroy whatever he wants. I mean, he can fire energy beams of destructive energy. He can fire pretty much anything you can think of, honestly, he can kind of do in terms of energy. Or destroying destructive energy, because we see him do normal energy blasts. We see him do the Hakai destructive energy blasts, which actually are designed to legitimately destroy things or erase things from existence, depending on what he's using. We've seen him create pretty much a giant sun, basically do the Frieza technique, but it looked more like he was on fire. So he pretty much probably created a sun because they were in space and physics. And Goku was able to stop that, barely. So more than likely, he could, in theory, probably create lightning if he wanted to. He's not limited to any one thing in terms of his energy capabilities. But Beerus' power is so great that instead that if Beerus went all out, like if he really went all out, he could destroy an actual universe. Now keep in mind, we're not talking a solar system. We're not talking a galaxy. We are talking the universe and everything that is compiled in the universe. Understand how big a universe is let me see if I can get it. I think I looked this up at one point. How big is the universe? Because by all definition, how big is the universe? By all technicalities, I should say, the universe that is in Dragon Ball Z is, theoretically speaking, our universe. The observable universe is, of course, much larger. According to current thinking, it's about 93 billion light years in diameter. Now, keep in mind, that's diameter, not circumference. And that's assuming, by the way, that the universe is a uniform shape like a circle and not maybe an oval or something else. So, yeah, he can do that with his full power. Without trying too hard, he can tap his finger to destroy half a planet like that. He can erase someone's existence just by using energy of destruction and going, okay, that's the name of the technique, and it erases you from existence. It doesn't just destroy; it does erase someone from existence. It is actually explained that's how that works. So Beerus Beerus obviously has plenty of techniques to go along with that. Energy of destruction. He's capable of just hitting pressure points and just ending you pretty quickly. I'm trying to think of any other feats that he displayed. And it's implied, mind you, because the manga and the anime are different things. In the anime, Beerus, it was stated that Beerus probably could have even taken out merged Zamasu. An immortal body doesn't matter to God of Destruction. But in the manga, it's stated he can't kill an immortal. So, and it all depends on what you mean by immortality in that regard. It does, because Goku in the manga used Takai on Zamasu, and he almost killed him. Because merged Zamasu, it was pretty much figured out that he wasn't immortal, because he wasn't the same person anymore. Beerus is... And one last thing. Beerus, while he does not know Ultra Instinct, he knows of it, and it's implied he at least has the basic understands of it. So he can kind of react without reacting, without thinking, occasionally in a fight. But he's hardly mastered it at all. So that is Beerus. Thanos. Okay. Going over just the general version of Thanos. And in fact, let me get something up while I'm talking right now. Thanos is... well, he's not 8. His planet was Titan. But... he's not, I don't know exactly, is he an Eternal? Is that it? I actually can't remember if he's a Titan or an Eternal. I think he's an Eternal is what he is. But he actually had a gene that caused a mutation in him. And basically that's what caused the appearance, and it gave him a, there we go. What? Come on. Sorry, I wanted to get one of them up here real quick. Get off the screen. Thank you. Okay. So, born that way, he was a pacifist growing up, but quickly grew into nihilism and fell in love with literally the physical embodiment of death, and basically has often sought a way to seek her approval and her love. He later just said, screw you, and just said, nah, I'm just going to do my own thing. Thanos is considered to be one of the biggest threats in the Marvel Universe, because you have your cosmic level like embodiments of metaphysics, like you have eternity, infinity, there's two other ones, entropy and death. There's three of them. I know three of them, but I can't remember the other one. Then you got the Living Tribunal, and you have the one above all. All those guys do outrank Thanos, but Thanos would probably be considered in the tier under that, if not maybe one tier below that as well. Thanos is one of the biggest threats in the universe, usually speaking. Whenever he shows up, he is Um, After he, wow, I just blanked. Sorry. There have been individuals who have been tailor made to kill him, but that's a different story entirely. Excuse me, man. My voice is going. Why did I say after he? I have no idea where I was going with that. Essentially, he is whatever you can think of. He can kind of do it on some scale. Physically speaking, he's one of the toughest individuals in the Marvel universe. He can even go toe to toe with individuals like the Hulk. What was it? Warrior or something like that. The guy who initially had the Power Stone. I'm trying to think of some other individual. Galactus. He's actually tanked some blasts from Galactus too, in just the standard version of Thanos we know. Durability. He's survived being thrown to the sun. Survived Black Bolt doing 3 right? 3 point blank full power screams, and Black Bolt is capable of destroying planets with his screams. All he walked away with a bloody nose. He's a skilled hand-to-hand fighter. He has a massive regeneration capability. He's got mental projection berries. He knows levels of mysticism, technology. He actually does have a little level of precognition as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of normal Thanos that I'm forgetting here, like the standard Thanos we got. He's mostly like resistant. He's resistant to most individuals. I mean, he can be hurt. He's been killed multiple times, but he always seems to find a way back. Excuse me. If you look, and then if you go over, and obviously any version of Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet is capable of pretty much doing whatever the hell he wants. Damn it. I got the hiccups for some reason. Okay. Sorry, I'm good. So, yeah, any version of the Infinity Gauntlet doesn't matter on that regard. Movie Thanos is still immensely powerful, capable of pretty much bitching out the Hulk without even the use of the Power Stone. A skilled fighter in his own regard. He's actually the least durable of them, though, because we've seen that he could theoretically be stabbed with a sword if more as the Vision showed more as anything. Tony was able to do all that damage for a drop of blood, still cut him. Stormbreaker could go into his chest. So it takes powerful weapons and powerful attacks, but you can hurt this Thanos. This Thanos also, I would actually say, is probably not as strong as some of the other versions of Thanos. So he is probably the weakest version of him and probably would be the easiest one to beat. Old King Thanos. Now, Old King Thanos from Earth TRN 666. As time went by, the heroes grew weak, but Thanos only grew stronger. His eternal quest to please death, leading him to kill almost every living thing in the known galaxy, and became the king of what remained in his wake, nothing. Knowing that he had to die in order to be with death, Thanos gave a piece of the Time Stone to his servant. Now, understand this. Basically, all of Thanos' abilities as Old King Thanos are greatly amplified. To be able to take an Infinity Stone, crack a piece of it, and give it to his servant, the Rider, basically a future version of the Ghost Ray, tasked him with going back in time and drag his younger self to the future so he could be killed by him. After dealing with the Fallen One, who the hell is the Fallen One? 1 second. After dealing with the Fallen One, I haven't actually read this story, to be fair. Okay, the Fallen One, the Silver Surfer and his master Galactus were both hunted across the stars by Thanos. After saving Galactus' life by teleporting him away, the Surfer somehow managed to escape from Thanos. Believed dead by his former master, the Surfer watched from afar as the Great Devourer was killed by the Mad Titan centuries later. That's another thing. He one-shotted Galactus in the head. Not powerful enough to take on Thanos, spent millennia becoming worthy. So essentially, the Fallen One is the Silver Surfer with Mjolnir. What the hell kind of alternate timeline was this? And where can I find it? Because I need to read this so badly. After dealing with the Fallen One, stop doing that, Jesus. The one being who had eluded him. So he dealt with that guy too. He dealt with the Silver Surfer. He can one shot this. Well, not one shot, but he can easily take care of the Silver Surfer with Mjolnir. The time displaced Thanos soon started a fight with his older self. Actually, that seems like the younger self did that. Okay. So for thinking he was a pretender, but ceased the attack once King Thanos confirmed his identity by speaking the name of his mother was going to give him, blah, 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 blah. When the Fallen One arrived at King Thanos' palace with the Annihilation Wave at his back. Okay, what's the Annihilation Wave? 1 second. Was taken by the Fallen One to Earth, and in order to battle King Thanos, they were burned down by the Rider. That doesn't tell me what the hell this is. The Annihilation Wave seems to be some sort of team of individuals, but they were all burned down by the Rider, so they kind of failed in general. King Thanos fought alongside his younger self, and the Rider against him managed to viciously claim the Fallen One's life, prompting death to return. Once his younger self realized the true reason for having been taken to the future was to kill King Thanos so he could be by death's side, the elder Thanos prepared for battle since he didn't want to go out without a fight. Despite overpowering his future self, the younger Thanos stopped attacking after the elder begged for his death. Having been disgusted by his future self begging, young Thanos stepped back and snatched a time shard from his necklace a time stone from his necklace in order to return to his time, and set out to never become like his future self. Because of this, the elder Thanos and his entire timeline started fading into nothingness. In his final moments, King Thanos confronted death to know what did his younger self do to rid of him. After King Thanos and all of reality is gone, Death simply replied that what he did was win. Okay, and he does wield a weapon known as the Twilight Sword. The Twilight Sword is known as a Sword of Doom and was created by the fire giant Surtur. So it's Surtur's sword is what it. So let me get this straight. He casually wields an Infinity Stone around his neck. He one-shotted Galactus. I believe he's also made the Rider his servant, the Ghost Rider of that world his servant. He pretty much beat the Silver Surfer with Mjolnir, and now he wields the sword of Surtur. Okay. All right, sure, why not? So if Beerus and Thanos went toe-to-toe, who would win? So right off the bat, I will say this. Beerus easily beats movie Thanos. Without the Infinity Gauntlet, mind you. He easily beats movie Thanos. Because movie Thanos is a powerful dude, no doubt. But when you actually see what he's theoretically capable of, it's not anything on his own. He can't do anything more than anyone else can. In fact, this version of Thanos doesn't demonstrate energy capabilities like our comic Thanos does. He has plenty of texture and servants, but ultimately he's just our serious brute is what he is. So yeah, Beerus would actually pretty easily trump that Thanos. Any Thanos version of Thanos wielding the Infinity Gauntlet would more than likely win, just because he could manipulate. Because the gods, like Celestials and gods of the Marvel Universe, what constitutes a god in the Marvel Universe doesn't necessarily do the same for Beerus in Dragon Ball. Well, went up against Thanos, and he just turned him to stone. I'd imagine Beerus could put up a theoretical, solid fight for a little while. Enough that Beerus would take him seriously, but he could easily just probably turn him to glass or anything along those lines. A quick little caveat to that, though. Beerus theoretically could sense the power of the Infinity Stones and Hakai. He could theoretically destroy the Infinity Stones. There's nothing to say he couldn't do that. If he can destroy an entire universe on his own, he could destroy the Infinity Stones. And if he did that, because he could probably sense the power coming off them, because being a god of destruction and being able to sense ki, pretty much divine and otherwise, would probably mean he could sense the energy and power coming off him, understand how dangerous they are. So he might be able to, and now that I say that out loud, well, here's the thing. If Thanos isn't distracted, Beerus doesn't distract Thanos, Thanos wins, because Thanos will do whatever he wants. If Beerus can play to Thanos' ego, if he gets rid of the gauntlet, then you're dealing with just standard Thanos versus, or whatever version of Thanos versus Beerus. And then who wins in that fight? That's going to be the real fight we're doing here, is normal Thanos versus Beerus. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I actually believe I fully believe old King Thanos beats Beerus in a fight. Because there are individuals who are strong enough to resist the destructive energy of a god of destruction. It all depends on the god of destruction, obviously. I do believe Sidra, for instance, tried to kill Frieza through an assassination attempt with some energy of destruction, but with some Hakai energy. But Frieza was actually able to overpower that and use it on his own. But Sidra, from what we can tell, wasn't a very strong god of destruction, if we can tell. And the god of destructions are not created equal, by the way. There are stronger gods than others. So, and we know Old King Thanos is honestly stronger than in the Infinity Gauntlet. He's more than likely strong enough to... Yeah, you off. Good girl. You don't go on the table. You know better. You was in a chair. You were in a chair, not a table. Still. Silly dog. He's more or less more capable than the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, he doesn't have all the capabilities of the Infinity Gauntlet. He wore the Time Stone on his neck, around his neck like a necklace. Evil baby. But he wasn't... he didn't wield the Infinity Stone because... I don't know why he didn't... Did he destroy the Infinity Stones besides the Time Stone, maybe? Is that what he did? Because I don't know why he didn't just assemble the Infinity Gauntlet at that point. Because he was pretty much one of the only living creatures left. Bring them back so they could all die, and then you just fix it from there. Or, just end your own... Such a wuss. The old King Thanos actually ended up being ruthless, but a wuss. I actually fully believe, because Galactus is beyond a universal being. He's a multi-universal being. And Thanos, before he was even Old King Thanos, one-shotted him. So I have to go under... I would believe that Old King Thanos actually could beat Beerus. Could legitimately beat Beerus. Now, would he be immune to an Akai? Because he carries at least the Time Stone around with him? Yeah, I'd actually say he'd probably be immune to it. Because he can just use time, manipulate it. Beerus might be able to sense time being manipulated, but he's not immune to it. So, unless he's, within Whis' sphere of influence. So... Beerus and Old King Thanos go toe-to-toe. I think just physically alone, he just grabs Beerus, starts slamming around. Beerus could, in theory, destroy the universe. I think that's a capability that Old King Thanos didn't have. But that's like a Hail Mary attempt. I think King Thanos actually just blows Beerus' head off after a while. Now, Beerus might instinctually just dodge the first time, but because Thanos does have a level of precognition, he... could see that attempt and just blast him in the spot he was going to go and then end Beerus. So I do think Old King Thanos legitimately wins a fight with Beerus. Standard Thanos we have versus Beerus. Beerus, Beerus and Whis are traveling through the multiverse. They travel through the Marvel Universe, run into Thanos, just runs like, hello. Like, who are you? It's like, oh, I'm Beerus, Lord, God of Destruction. There's only one God here. And you're in his way. So, or something like that. So, they'd go toe-to-toe. Now, Beerus, just from his actual own physical abilities minus the, key enhancement, could not compete with Thanos. I'd say Thanos is maybe even a better fighter than Beerus. But in terms of the amount of power that Beerus actually emits and has... Thanos is outmatched in that regard. So Thanos would throw some punches. They would hurt. Beerus would feel them. He would legitimately feel them. He would even blast Beerus away with an energy blast. And it's like, that actually hurt. It looks like I'm going to have some fun with you after all. And they would go toe-to-toe for a while. Back and forth, back and forth. But Beerus' blows that he'd be dishing out, actually trying, would be doing more damage because his power just is able to affect the wider scale of reality, whereas Thanos on his own is immensely powerful, but it can't do the same thing. So Beerus is throwing punches that Thanos is just coughing up blood. He's blasting at Beerus, maybe teleports out of the way, tries to hit Beerus again. Beerus just grabs him, just nope, boom. Oh, I must admit, I haven't had a fight like this since Goku. This is quite entertaining. So I was like, I will show you entertaining! And then just, flat out blast him. Beerus over just like, and then he does his own finger snaps. And then the fire just, don't you understand what you're up against here? And just appears in front of Beerus real quick, just teleports at light speed, because that's basically what they do. They don't dematerialize. They just move that fast. That's too fast for the eye to see. And when you're scaling that up to beings of godlike status, do the math. So, he just appears in front of Thanos, who's like, and then he just flicks his forehead, and got you. But Thanos is physically tougher than Goku is. So he'd be like, and then he actually fires out the blast. And I think he can do the omnidirectional blast as well, kind of like Darkseid can. Just not that they're not Omega beams. So he just blasts. It's a blast Beerus in the face. It's like, and it just grabs him in the barrel. I'm gonna break you in half, and then you will know, and then you will see until death when you see her. I love that I will be with her soon. I will find a way, my love. And then starts, cracking Beerus's back. It's like, and then, oh, thank God. I've had a bad back for weeks now. Well, you dare? Like, yes, I do. And then he just, he feels his hands like, and I've had enough of this farce. It's been fun, Purple Man. It's like, who you calling Purple Cat? Ooh, touche. Okay. And then, and then he just starts disappearing. He's trying to resist the effects of the Akai, the energy of destruction. Impressive, you are quite strong indeed. But then Beerus decides to actually, then just a giant orb. Between the actual technique and this, I wonder how long you'll last. And then just fires a giant orb of Akai energy at you. No! And then you basically just incinerates into nothing. And Beerus winds out on top. My, Lord Beerus, that was quite the opponent. I know, it's a shame. Why can't I find good opponents like this more often? It's like, oh, hey, Lord Beerus. Hi, Whis. It's like, oh, God. Goku! Will you knock it off, you idiot? We gotta go see this guy, blah, blah, blah. And they go off. So, why does Beerus win over Thanos majority of the time? Because he beats movie Thanos. Old King Thanos would beat Beerus, I'd imagine. And the Infinity Gauntlet, Beerus is smart enough to pick up on what the Infinity Gauntlet probably, at least the power coming off it, and view it as something very dangerous that he would probably just get rid of. So, because of that, it comes down to the fact that Beerus wins the majority fights. Now, again, there's a scenario where Thanos just like, okay, and then Beerus will be done. But I gotta go the majority, based on the individual versions of Thanos we used, goes to Beerus. And the reason for that is, with the exception of Old King Thanos, and obviously Thanos using the gauntlet and not being distracted and having the gauntlet destroyed, Beerus's actual display of his power is far greater than Thanos' display of his power. And the reason, and by that, and I explained earlier, but by that I mean, Beerus has been shown, even without using his full power, to be affecting the actual fabric of the universe and reality. Thanos needs the gauntlet or special items to be that powerful. Even Old King Thanos doesn't necessarily affect reality directly with his power. Beerus does. So he is just the strong. Has the overall stronger amount, the higher level of power that can be deployed and used at his leisure than Thanos does. Add to the fact that he's also a martial artist, at least on some level, and he actually has techniques that are just designed to destroy things, like erase their existence, make them cease to exist, which is the same thing. They're redundant. So on that regard, I got to go Beerus the majority of the time. But by that said, though, I will say it's a 65% of the time Beerus wins when you factor all the versions of Thanos I used. 35% of the time when you're talking about Old King Thanos and Thanos with an Infinity Gauntlet, when he doesn't get distracted or is actually able to use it, then obviously he would win then. But I'm going to go Beerus the majority of this fight. But who do you think it would win? Put in the comments below. Let me know. Thank you for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super, Magic, whatever. Anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So, I'll have the who would win up later today as well. I got to record that still. All pre-recorded. Because I got work technically today. It's Tuesday now. It will be Wednesday when it gets brought up, so today. And Captain Marvel will be this Thursday. I already picked up the tickets. Going to be a good time. I'm hearing good things about it. So, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else planned? I don't have anything else off the top of my head. I mean, I got a who would win on Friday, but no, that's pretty much it for right now. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.